Dear Chairman, dear Moderator, dear audience, I am Dr. Thượng from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. My presentation is complex PCI in the elderly basin with one case report for demonstration. The first we talk about who is elderly. We have two conceptions. The first in the chronological age. The person who his age above 60-year-old in Vietnam or 65-year-old in America, he was considered elderly. If with this definition, the elderly become a very common group in the PCI, greater than 50%. And nowadays, many PCI involved in trial and registry include the elderly greater 75%. And this image is very familiar with the geriatrics in the lab. The old person, 100-year-old, he have a very good mental and physical activity, and he set the record marathon for the old person. In the right, the young guy with the 52-year-old, he do nothing, forget everything. The mental and physical activity is nothing. So, which person is older? It's the concept of the biological age. This is the outcome. Non-STEMI, the patient, 84-year-old male, he was transferred from the provincial hospital. Risk factor, hypertension, lipidemia, diabetes. The patient was hospitalized with non-STEMI 1 week ago at a local hospital. He was sent the cath lab of the local hospital for immersion coronary angiogram for non-STEMI. And their interventionist tried to do stenting RCA but failed. They sent the patient to our hospital. Laboratory test saw the heart failure with the anti-proBNP increase and acute MI with the troponin TAS increase very much. The echocardiogram show ejection fraction about 50% mild hypokinesis of the global left ventricle. And the coronary angiogram of provincial hospital showed the triple vessel disease with the severe left main disease, with the severe calcified diffuse lesion, and syntax score they estimate at 42. Their interventionist tried to do the PCI to the RCA in the rescue of the patient at high risk non-STEMI. They did wiring and pre-dilating with the balloon successful. However, they failed to advance them. They think due to the very calcified and tortuous, they stopped procedure and sent immersion the patient to our hospital. And very lucky the patient is safe. This is the coronary angiogram. In the right coronary, as we see, look like the severe stenosis in the ostium and in the midst, in the distal, and particularly in the lab, we can see a very tight, severe in the ostium and the distal of the left man and the diffuse lesion in the LAD and circumflex. You can see here, very severe the stenosis in the ostium and distal left man, and we can see the diffuse lesion in circumflex and LAD. Yeah? And at the local hospital, they try to the PCI to the RCA. They do wiring and they do balloon. And but when the advance stand, it gets stuck. So they fail and they think due to a very calcified and tortuous, they stop procedure and sent to our hospital. And this patient belong to the very elderly group, greater than 80%. And what should they do? What can we do? Because first, the patient is a very old, 48-year-old, a very high syntax score, 42 point, and in spite of failure of the provincial intervention, the patient still being rather stable, moderate chest band address. And according to the recommendation of the guideline ESC, the left-hand disease with the CINTA score greater than of 32, the class 3, it means contraindication. And the three vessel disease with the CINTA score greater than 32, it's the same contraindication. The patient, this patient with the triple vessel disease and left-hand disease severe. According to guideline of the ACC 2015, the same. Left man with plus 2 or 3 vessel disease, CINTA score greater than 33 is the contraindication with class 3. So what we do? The choice should be the first, conservative medical treatment with strictly limited exercise because the patient is very old. The second, refer and send the patient to cardiac surgeon for bypass surgery. And the third, trying to do a PCI to alleviate the total ischemic burden. Because not enough time, so I have no time to ask your opinion from monitor and audience. And because today I am here, it means the choice is, my choice is trying to do the PCI to alleviate the total ischemic burden. And we do again the PCI to the RCA. We saw the severe stenosis in the ostium, severe the calcified severe in the midst. So it might be the core etiology. The provincial interventionist cannot advance the stand. So we do again pre-dilatation with poly-Y. And we do the stenting in reverse order. Normally, we do the stenting distal first and after proximal. In this case, we do reverse. It means we do the proximal stenting first and distal after. So we do 3 stent, 1 in the ostium proximal, 1 in the mid, and 1 in the distal. And the last result looks good. But after we do the stenting to the RCA, it seems no good collateral flow from RCA to LCA. So what we do? After doing stenting to the RCA, the patient felt better. He still suffer a mild chest pain and breathless at the exercise. What we continue to do? The first, continue on intensive medical treatment with the limited exercise. The second, send the patient to the bypass surgery. And the third, continue to do PCI to the LCA with left-man disease. And the patient and his family refuse the surgery. So before to answer the question of our cath lab I'd like to review something. The first, why the elderly different from the young patient. The first, because the comorbidity and frailty with age, as we see, according to the age, the comorbidity in this 5 common comorbidity: congestive heart failure, renal insufficiency, stroke, frailty, and cognitive impairment increase with age. The second, the age process have a long-term effect on the cardiovascular system, impair endothelium function, impair function of the sinus node, increase stiffness of meningeum and vessel wall, reduce response to the baroreceptor, and LV function decrease, particularly the diastolic function. And the net effect is the last reduction of the CV reserve. Why? And the age process have effect on cardiovascular system itself. PID, it met frequent poor vascular access. The CAD, diffuse multi-atherosclerosis, dilatation, and the calcified look like this case. It's met PCI in the elderly require advanced technique and assisted instrument. And in summary, in the concept of the biological age, the first, the comorbidity, very common in the elderly patient. The second, the general change in the body, particularly hormonal regulation change. And the third, the concomitant syndrome often present in the elderly patient: frailty, disability, and cognitive dysfunction. But we have a general principle for the effect treatment. The higher the risk, the higher the benefit of a more aggressive treatment. It's the same in our situation, particularly in the non-STEMI with the trial tactic 18. As you see, the more older look like the class group greater than 70-year-old, the benefit more better. This is the same demonstration for the more aggressive, the more better. This is, we have the number of treatment. The first, the antiplatelet, the second, beta blocker, the third, the heparin, the fourth, GB inhibitor, and the five, the cardiac catheterization. If the patient have enough, the five treatment, the mortality reduced very significant. So, what is the strategy for the PCI in the elderly? I like the strategy for the PCI in the elderly of Dr. Jam Baglis and his concept. The kids has been keep it simple and safe. Primary goal to improve the quality of life, treat refractory symptoms, treat the coronary artery only, and treat the main vessel or the large branch only. And consider biological age, comorbidity, and the risk of complication, keep procedure simple and safe. So, what should we do and what can we do in the
Last 30
case?
seconds.
A, continue intensive medical treatment. B, send to the operation. And the third, continue to PCI to the LCA. We try to do, because the patient refuse the operation, we try to do the PCI to the LCA. So, if we do the PCI to left main and left coronary artery, we do index complete revascularization. It means we do one time for everything in the same time with the RCA, or we do stay complete revascularization. It means 1 week later or 2 weeks later we do. And the C, the minimize revascularization. We choose the C, minimize revascularization. What reason? Because as you see in the coronary angiogram, a very severe stenosis in ostium and bifurcation, and the angle between left main and LVD and left main and circumference angle and some proximal is acute. Benefit because left coronary artery system not spare, it's very good, and no collateral from the right to the left. If the good collateral, we stop, but no collateral from the right to the left. And when we do the PCI to this patient, very rich because this characteristic of the region, the stand very easy to get stuck in the bifurcation and with the angle and with the terrible disaster. So we do minimize PCI. It means we try to do only the left main. The first we do with the small balloon and we increase gradually. And we choose the soft stand 3.0 14 to get to cover the left main. But unfortunately, the stand cannot across the severe tight lesion at bifurcation. So, in the last time, with the need support of the guideline, we advanced the second soft stand 2.79 millimeter. It can cross the lesion and cover. After we do the minimize PCI to the left main, the patient felt well. His family told us he can go upstairs 2 floors now, never done before. We continue to follow up him. So the strategy for PCI in the elderly, I extract one point. We cannot direct the wind, but we can adjust the cell. So conclusion. A relay physiologist change increase the vulnerable for the disease, dampen the response to stress, and reduce the energy reserve. Support the elderly in high risk for PCI. The second, the chronological in order contraindication for PCI. PCI should consider on the basis of the biological age. The third, the individual approach to elderly CAD patients undergoing PCI mandatory. And the fourth, cataract intervention carry increased risk in elderly patients, particularly early phase. And the interventionist attention to mitigate complication. And the strategy for PCI in the elderly for us is keep it simple and safer. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.